right, brother, if you look something like this and have decided there is far too much fat sat around your midsection, you realise it is time for a cut. But when I try to cut, I just don't seem to lose any body fat. I know this is a regular occurrence because I have conversations like this on Instagram with the boys that watch this channel. So likewise, if you are having this same issue, then feel free. My inbox, my door is always open to you. Now, this is a problem, okay? This is the second biggest problem when it comes to your fitness and health. The first is probably being just too small and not putting on any muscle at all and just putting on fat. That's the worst problem to have. This is the second worst, not being able to shed off the fat because it will keep you looking soft and sad and puffy and you just look like a potato when you're in this position. Like, I naturally have a lean face with cheekbones and a jawline. Here, let's zoom in. Here, there's none of that going on. There's just puffiness, okay? So, we want to fix this. We want to understand, why do you struggle to drop off the body fat? There are three main reasons, but they're pretty fucking big ones, to be honest. So, if you fix these, you will really notice your physique just absolutely take off. So, the first and the biggest problem that you have is you do not know your starting point. You may have remember in previous videos I've gone through how to set up your starting point. Well, we're going to go through it again because it's single-handedly the greatest reason why you're not where you want to be is because, to be honest, you think you're leaner than you are, so you allow yourself more food, or you're actually not as fat as you think you are and you starve your fucking self. Either way, you end up batting on the wrong pitch, rowing in the wrong lake, and for that reason, progress is very, very hard. So we're going to set you up the right way. So calculators online will tell you to put in your height, weight, maybe your waist, probably not, and it'll tell you roughly how much food you're having. The problem is it's not so accurate. It doesn't know how fat you are, and literally that is the single greatest metric that you probably need when you're going to go on a cut. You need to know, what is my starting point of body fat percentage? So I would recommend you line yourself up relative to these images here and do be conservative. If you're sat in between 25 and 30, go closer towards 30 because it's not going to do you any favours saying you're leaner than you are for the points I just mentioned. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your body fat percentage and you're going to say you're 23% and you're currently weighing at 98.5 kilograms. This is going to give you your lean mass, 75.8. It's going to give you your RMR, your resting metabolic rate, and then you need to put in how active are you. Most people, on average, are sat around the 155 mark. So this guy, this imaginary guy, needs 1,313 calories for his normal maintenance level. Obviously, he needs to go into a cut. Now, this is the next greatest metric to go in. How deep shall we make this cut? And I say it depends on how fat you are. If you are 25% or above, then put this number in here, 1%, and it's going to be quite a drastic drop, about 1,000 calories. If you are sat over 20% and around 25 up to 27, you're going to go in 0.7 here. If you're 20% or up to let's say 19 to 23%. I know these are random numbers I'm coming out here with here, but this is what I would go with here. Again, about a 500 calorie deficit. Now, if you're fairly lean but slightly fat and you're not quite 20, then I would actually not take the piss with this deficit. I'd go in quite shallow to start with, just a slight deficit below maintenance. And I would listen to my body. The main thing you do is you weigh yourself. This is only a starting point. This is a better metric of a starting point than what most people are using, but this is only a starting point. So you're going to need to know, how is your body responding to those calories? If it's not moving, that's okay. That's your body saying, we can pull more. We can pull more food or we can increase more output. And then you would obviously make those decisions. And then you would assess and implement your macro split off the back of this. Now, I have had a lot of people message me, can you work out my action plan? And I do it for them. So do you know what? If you're watching this, message me on Instagram, photo, scale weight. I'll tell you your action plan. I'll tell you where you are, where you need to get to, time frame. As you can see, I've still got like someone's outcome digits here. Let's remove that. So the single greatest reason why you will not get to the shape you want to is because you just don't know your starting point. So you're starting from a wrong fucking place. And that also crosses over to actual tracking of data. Like, if you're not tracking your data, you're not going to know if you're making progress. Like, for fuck's sake, you're only going to do it for 12 to 16 weeks in a dieting phase. Just be autistic and be rigid about it and track every single metric. Weigh yourself daily. In fact, as long as you weighed yourself daily and tracked your photos weekly, that's half the battle done. Obviously, you need to track your nutrition and know what you're eating, and I would also track my steps and output. Everything else is a nice to have, but just honestly, if you're not tracking the data, then don't expect to see certain gains and results, because what you're going to base the next decision from, fresh air, literally fresh air. So don't expect to see progress if you're basing your decisions from fresh air. So that is the biggest mistake that people will make. The single biggest mistake is that, 100%. I've said it before and it needs saying again. The next biggest mistake people make is they spunk their load too early. And no one likes to do that. No one likes to be 10 seconds in and think, oh shit, oops, and it's over. No one likes to do that. The same goes for your daily feeding intake when you're on a diet. If you eat at 8 in the morning, you're going to have a fucking hard day of it. If you really can, if your day allows it, you want to push that first meal back as far into the day as you possibly can. Try and get to lunchtime if you can. Try and get to 11 o'clock in the morning. Push it back as much as you can, because as soon as you break that fast and you're on a diet and you're hungry anyway, your little goblin brain will be like, nom, 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 snacks, when you're literally trying to fight against that when you're feeling a little bit hungry in the depths of the diet. So it will really serve you to just push it back as far as you can. Hydrate like fuck, have black coffee, so then by the time it does come to eating, you're like, cool, right, I'm ready to eat. But you're not in absolute bits. It's much easier to fast than it is to break the fast and then go a long window without eating. So seriously, just push the meal back and stop spunking your load. And the last one is your diet just tastes too fucking good. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes people have. So let's say this is setup. This is the problem with the setup and why you're not going to get to it. This is to do with adherence, because if you eat too early, you end up just crap, like eating, snacking later on down the line and wonder why you're not making progress. And this is also to do with adherence. So you're unable to stick to your diet because it tastes so fucking good because you're trying to make it sustainable. Dieting is not really sustainable. It's an in and out job. Get the body fat off, back into maintenance, and then back into a gaining phase to build more tissue, because that's what we really want. The cut to get shredded, it's nice, but it's always just part of the process and the next stage, which is able to then go into a bigger gaining phase and add more tissue to your frame. So I would ask you, why does your diet need to taste so good? People shit on chicken and rice, but it works because it's high protein, it's got carbs, it's got veg, if you want your veg, and it doesn't taste that fucking great, really. You have oats with a bit of protein in, it don't taste that great. It's pretty fucking bland. But do you know what? Blandness will really help you in this diet. After about 2 weeks of following a relatively steady and not tasty diet, you'll be able to stick within your targets. If you're having nice as fuck food in your diet, then you're going to have a hard time of stopping and be like, no, that's enough. It's like me saying, just try and eat out for all your meals. You're never going to stay on plan, because the meals they made are palatable. They're made so they taste nice, so you keep coming back. So it's not going to serve you to have that mindset when you're in a dieting phase. It would serve you to just be like, you know what? These fucking... And this is the thing, fitness influencers will try and sell you on, oh, look at what I eat. This is Oreo ice cream, and it's only 213 calories. I made it myself. Fuck off. Fuck off with your stupid, fancy-ass diet shit. It looks all nice and shiny, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to get into dieting because this guy made it sustainable, and I can have pancakes, and I can have fucking breaded chicken. Fuck off. We don't do that here. We don't do that on this channel. If you'd want to do that, stop watching my videos, because that is not what I'm about. I will never tell you to do that, and I just hate those style of people, because it's like, look, that just sets you up for the wrong mindset. Your mindset needs to be, I'm going to fucking war with my physique. I'm going to eat single foods, and it's going to be fairly bland, it's going to be boring, but that's part of it. It's supposed to be hard dieting down and getting a good physique. where people make it all comfy and easy, they're not going to get to the result if they eat that fucking shit, because their mindset doesn't change. And I've said this a million times and I will say it again. It's not about the physique, it's about the man you need to become to have the physique. If you don't fix that, you'll never have it, or you'll have it but never keep it long term. These people that are having fucking Oreo ice cream within their diet, they're not keeping the physique long term because they've still got that fat boy fucking mindset inside their brain. That needs killing. That's half the battle in this diet phase. We need to kill your brain, your sugar-fiending brain, and just have whole foods. And that is what's going to help you. And funnily enough, when you've had that for 2 weeks, you actually just enjoy the whole foods. It's like when you don't listen to music. I've not listened to music that much this week because I felt like I'd abused it and it just wasn't giving me the hit anymore. Now, I don't feel like I need it. I don't feel like I miss it. It's quite nice and relaxing not to have boom, boom, boom music in your ears all the time. The same goes for your food and your feeding. It's nice just to live off a little bit less. So the goal of this video is to get you set up and keep you on the plan. So we know you need to understand the process of this. You need to know your scale weight, so go and weigh yourself. You need to know your body fat, so go and take a picture of yourself. And what you could do is just pull this video up on screen, open it up, pause it, and then just work out where you are relative to that. Set your goal. So what is it going to be? It's probably going to be 8 to 10%. So if we said for our guy, if he wants to get to 8 to 10%, he's looking at pretty much 82 kilograms down from 98.5. So 16, 17 weeks for this guy, and he should be bob on. So you need to obviously work that out for you and your time frame. Obviously, you're going to have your macro breakdown. Then you need to work out what food am I going to eat. So I'm not eating stupid foods. So I'm going to pick, all right, what food should I have? All right, I'll have these proteins, these carbs, these fats, etc., etc. This is all within the calorie calculator. And set out your meals and try and keep them to single ingredients for single macronutrients, because that will serve you in the long run. And then your meal timing. Structure when you're going to eat and just stick to that like a fucking soldier would. So I'll wrap the video up there, boys. If you found it useful, subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, go and see me on Instagram. Message me your fucking photos and your scale weight, and we'll get you set up with an action plan. I look forward to speaking to you. We'll see you then, and I'll see you tomorrow.